Good evening. Welcome to Mystic Moons. Do you hear that growls in the background? The cats, felines, are feeling the question. They're feeling the atmosphere. Listen to that. All sorts of noises. Now, today we're going to ask a question. We're going to ask the universe something that's been buzzing around the stratosphere and the atmosphere, the air that we breathe in. We're going to ask the universe about this rumor. A world leader will suddenly die soon. Now, who could that be? We know that all the world leaders have prices on their heads. Trump is rumored to have $40 million for the person who sends him to the afterlife. I'm sure Putin, Xi, and the rest of them have Zelensky, have similar things. But this could just be hearsay. I mean, when you get to a certain amount of a certain reputation and a certain power level, there's always jealous people. Always. Even on a civilian commercial level. Businessmen hate other business people in the same in the same industry. Just because they have more power, more clout, more something. And it's the same thing with any power source. Those that have more power, they hold tight to it. And those that crave power, well, they extend themselves. Nothing, especially not everyone has empathy. Not everyone is benevolent. Not everyone is good. Right? We know that. There are always left field people. And I don't mean liberal or anything like that. I mean just people that think about there's other way of doing things. So let's see if there's anything in this rumor that a world leader, I mean, some of them are quite old. Some of them have been in their positions for a long time. Either a world leader who's on the stage now. Could it be Trump? Could it be China? Could it be Russia? Ooh, where is it? So let's just take will a world leader suddenly die? Here we have this. Even The Simpsons had an episode of which Trump suddenly died. And that was, I don't know if it was aired or not, but it certainly did make a few ears buzz. Is it true? Is it true? A world leader can suddenly die. Now we're not taking a trip. Today we're just going to sit down and we're going to think about this. How would the world stage be? Can things happen like that? Can things change so fast? What would the death of one of the strongest, most vociferous, most in-your-face country, for whatever reason, what if they died suddenly? Is it possible? And of course, is it possible in the time zone? Is it possible that things just happen? But let's just see. It's rather morose, but it's important to know that if something is being planned, if somebody has fulfilled their mission, the Charlemagne of the times, and it's time for them to go beyond. Is it true? Macron? They all have reasons. Germany? A world leader. The G7, the G10, whatever they call themselves. Will a world leader suddenly die soon? By soon, I mean within the month. within the month. Now I've drawn some cards. Perhaps this will give us some type of clarity. Hello, how are you? Let's see now. The first card we get is the energy is definitely there. We have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is a burden. Each leader is a burden to others. We have such a xenophobic atmosphere now. The Americans are the Americans, the Russians are the Russians, Japanese are the Japanese, the Chinese are the Chinese. Is there a rush for some sort of globalism? But what type of globalism? Are we going to have the post-modernity Westerners, the new phase of Asia? Are we going to have, what are we having? We have an era of turbulence. Right now, we have so much turbulence, and we have so much missing pages. And then we have justice. We have justice. Strange combination, isn't it? The Nine of Wands and justice. How do we resolve? How do we cut through this red tape? How do we cut through this agonizing nothingness? This agonizing, this fear, this tension we have right now. We have a lot of tension. Yes, we have a lot of tension. Even in the United States and India, which we were allies, so-called allies. Now we're contentious. Tariffs, tariff wars. We have the Queen of Cups. This is how the feeling is going. Animosity, Nine of Wands. There must be a solution, or at least something to cut through the animosity. And then Queen of Cups is the feel, the flow. The flow is one of antagonism, right? Antagonism. There must be some way to cut through the tension. And what is that? Could it be? Could it be the elimination of one, the death? And here we have the Hierophant. It's almost as though they're deciding who should go or what should happen. How can we dissolve? How can this World War III, which we're already in, we're not going to deny that. We don't need a proclamation from some billionaires to tell us we're in the Third World War. There's disturbances, fights, death everywhere. There's war. There's people suffering. And there's buildup of people who want to make others suffer. Blaming, the blame game, the Hierophant. This perhaps could chill out things, but who is to go? Sometimes, remember LA fires? These weren't cardboard houses, hard tents. The homeless people weren't the ones who burned, who had their lives ruined. No. The people with the homes. So the same thing with leadership, the roles, the dominoes. And here we have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. Obviously, we can feel that leadership. We feel a leadership role, the Ace of Pentacles, something to give. To give what? To give, like a pressure cooker. You want to let off some steam. It's just too kinetic. And maybe this isn't the right time to go aggressively. Zelensky? Zelensky, who refuses to deal with peace. He's the the small g of war. We have the Ace of Wands and we have the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, that is a pretty affirmation of someone. Someone is being decided they are no longer necessary. Some leadership, tension, Nine of Wands. We have the Justice. There must be a way to let off some steam. There must be something, some sacrifice. It's like a god, a Greek god that had a great life. And then It's time for him or her to go to Olympus, right? Something like that. You understand what I'm saying? And then we have the Queen of Cups, the general flow of the feeling. And look what we have, the Hierophant, the decision, who goes? We have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. It sounds like it's being decided. It has to be somebody who is in your face. It has to be somebody who is bombastic, wealthy. Now, all these leaders are wealthy people. They're not poor people living in a co-op, a studio apartment. No. Something is being decided. Something that's going to make a dent. Someone is going to pass. Pass. Someone. Who? Who do you think it is? Who do you think will be the one to go? But someone is going to go. I don't see anything that says opposite. Who will go? Trump? Putin? Xi? Who? Xi? Putin? Zelensky? Netanyahu? Who will lead? Who has been hogging up the space, and who do you think? Who do you think? Who has feeling for the people? Who has? It's not even. It's out of our hands for the people. We live and watch the masses of these societies. We live and watch. It doesn't matter what our needs, our wants are. We wouldn't even have the arrogance coming out of these leadership. Zelensky sending all his people to die, used for a useless war. Trump advocating, just doesn't matter. It'll get better. Maybe. Losing the dollar, driving the dollar down, collapsing the dollar, homeless, no jobs, no this, no that. Putin killing his people too. For what? A piece of property. And then, but who is really driving these wars? Is it human? All these questions are not being answered. All these questions. That's why we need another distraction. The death of someone, the death of some leader. Who is that leader? Tell me. Who is that leader? Trump? Putin? Who? Zelensky? Netanyahu? Who is that leader that will leave, that has had his? It feels like his, doesn't it? Of course. It feels like a man. It feels like a man who has set up the country. Who has set up the country? Who has? Does it feel like it's Trump? I don't know yet. Someone. It feels like definitely someone who has wealth and somebody who has been extremely active on the center stage of the globe. Somebody who's definitely tick, 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 tock, tick, tock. Putting his X all in the right yes boxes, and the clock is ticking. Tick, tock, tick. Who is it? Someone. The steam needs to lessen, blow it off. This is where we're at right now. Somebody. It's being decided. Who? We'll wake up one morning and we'll find out. That's just the way. Probably in the morning, overnight. Who is it? You can even think about the United States. J.D. Vance with all his tech friends. Trump has done everything he possibly could to stir up the sauce, put everything on high. So has Putin. Putin is just quieter, but he has his emissaries and his people speaking. They're ready to attack you. What is that? the dead hand mechanism that if you attack Russia, everything else goes to pot in 30 minutes. So if I go to hell, everybody else will go to hell too. And who is it? Stalin? Maybe. Nah. Doesn't feel like he's not really holding the shots. He's more like a vassal to the United States. How are the United States? You don't know. Someone. All right, so let's just, it seems like someone soon, the message will come clearer in time, but someone soon. Hi, what do you think it is? Hi, Brendan. Hi. Hmm. Could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. There's a lot of energy in this. Lots of energy. And with these two Ace of Wands and Ace of Pentacles, that is fire and earth. Fire and earth. Almost like, could be almost as though someone's traveling. In fact, Putin and Trump are having that negotiation in a few days in Alaska. High level. Can you imagine all the bodyguards and security to protect those two? Zelensky. Do you think he's going to sit still? Can he sit still and be out of the picture? Zelensky wants war. Russia and the United States wants pause, peace. A piece of this and a piece of that. Zelensky, who? Who will it be? Definitely someone. What images can you feel? What images? Yeah, you would think, what would you need a leader for anyhow these days? What would you need a leader for? I mean, you know what to do. Everybody knows what to do. In the United States, even though it's all, bombastic and we'll do this and we'll do that. There's no shelters for anyone. Not in the entire country. There's not one shelter. So I mean, of course, you know, political people have their political people, wealthy industrialists, wealthy retail people, they have their wealthy company CEOs, they have their thing. I mean, Bezos, he has it. Zuckerberg, they have it. But do the people have it? No, they have nothing. They have nothing, and they're like, all we have is high. All the people in the United States have is high grocery prices, high this, high that. But the so-called blessings of the tariffs, which gives us much more money to spend on something that costs a little less. Now there's such a disconnect with everything. There's such a disconnect. And I'm sure the people in Russia are feeling the same way. The people in China and the people in Japan are feeling the same way. I mean, there's all this Baroque boisterousness. And there's nothing solid. The earth is going through changes. The universe is telling us awaken. Awaken to what? And then we have this leadership that's on the way to hell. This leadership is trying to take everybody into some fiery pit of what? Death, like Zelensky has done for his people, Netanyahu has done for his people, and other people. What is all this? What is all this? Someone is going to pass. Someone must be accountable to have this, to be labeled, to give a pause. Someone in this Nine of Swords environment. Well, who do you think it is? The spirits say that something is going to happen. There's too much. Someone has reached their time. This is just a message from spirit. It's someone. There has to be some kind of steam let off. Something is in the. It's a lot of forces going on. There's a lot of forces going on. And it's not only human forces, too. It isn't. It isn't. I mean, the days of thinking about our Earth, our little blue ball bouncing around in the darkness, those days are over. These days are over. I mean, you can tell if you haven't forgotten, not even a year ago in New Jersey and other parts of the world, those drones, those orbs, that technology. Come on, don't forget it. And no explanation. 8 months later, 10 months later, still no explanation. So there are other hands at work in this chaos. In this chaos. Humans aren't the only ones involved in this. And that's the scary part because you don't know. But you can feel it. It has nothing to do, and the way things are moving, constantly, it's moving towards an event. We all know this. This is World War III. And it's quiet yet. But still, we know that it's moving in a chaotic type of nasty thing. It's not moving towards bliss, happiness, enlightenment. No. It's moving towards a darkness. But before light can come, there must be darkness sometimes. Because we can still see through the darkness, there's a pattern going on. And we have to decide just what, who are you following, and why are you following it? And where is your destiny? Where is your message for your life, for your living? What kind of message do you want? Hi, Samantha. If you want to ask me a question, you could, but I would appreciate if you would donate first, because this reading is all about the collective, us. How us, without going into a particular person. Except we're feeling that leadership is up for a change. There's something about the leadership that's definitely going to be changing because it's too bombastic. It's too kinetic. It's too scary. It's scary. I mean, it's really scary. You got to look into the paper and see, is it war today? Is it going to be like, can you imagine having a drone blow up your apartment building? You can imagine like your son or your friend or somebody just like no longer existing because they got blown up to a million pieces with some sort of like terrorist act. I mean, this is the world that's being generated. And it's not going to be diffused anytime soon. Mm-mm. They like it this way. They like it. They like it. They like it. And who is they? That's the whole thing. Who is they? Who are they? I mean, no more Mr. Nice Guy. Who says things like that? I mean, since when is a politician a nice person? Since when is a billionaire a nice person? Since when is anybody with a couple dollars more than you have a nice person? Well, altruistic, they have a reason to be nice to you. I mean, this is the sort of atmosphere that we have now. And that is questionable. That's the question. How can we regain? But that's not even a question right now. So do you think that more agitation is coming. Definitely. I can feel more agitation. I can feel more nine of wands. I can feel it, can't you? Even now, I mean, you have to ask yourself, are we going down a path that we can't come back from? There's always a way back, but sometimes the way back requires you to break the to break the ladder, to mess up, make a new map, a new map, a new goal, a new map and a new goal. And if we have a change in leadership, that is a new map. However, if the person in front of your face is just following orders from somebody, people from behind the scenes, or creatures, beings, intelligence from behind the scenes, what do you do? What do you do? First of all, you recognize. And don't be afraid to say, I believe. This is how it feels. And you can say, my voice, my voice. Your voice could be many voices. Who's to say? Who's to say your voice is not many, right? Your voice is not many. Who's to say? Is leadership leadership? Do you follow anyone? Do you just look at them as though they were celebrities? Celebrities, of which you put their P's and Q's, what they have, what they wear, what they do. But when it affects you, is this a republic? Or is this a democracy? Is democracy a noose? Is what? Is what? What is what? I would like some explanations of why that we're involved in wars. When our cities in the United States, for instance, our cities are mess holes, hell holes. People don't have anything. They don't know how they're going to eat next week. They don't know. Where are the jobs? Where is this? Where's that? All these questions, and they're not being answered. They're not being answered. So when leadership is not providing for its people, like Zelensky sending those beautiful young people, even now, even 60-year-olds are being drafted. Just anything that can wear a pair of pants and put on some shoes. They don't care. They just like exterminating, getting the organ transfer, skin transfer. I don't know, something really, some kind of alien intellect that requires human organs to eat. Who knows? I mean, nothing is beyond the pale. Nothing is out of the ballpark of questions because it's so absurd. So absurd. We don't know. But a world leader, yes, someone is going to be sacrificed. Maybe they just reached the end of it. And also, too, maybe because they just reached the end. The end. The end. And who will it be? Who will it be? Who will it be? Well, time will see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Time will tell. Who? Now, the summit is happening in Alaska. We have Putin and Trump having an actual meeting on former Russian. Alaska used to belong to the Russians, and I'm sure they never really left. You know what I mean? They still have their. Like you go home, if you could ever go home again, or you go home and you find, I know this place, I know that place, stuff like that. So there's a certain kind of sentimentation, or sentimental, I can't say the word, sentiment behind Alaska. Of course, it was Antarctica. What is in Alaska? What is in Alaska? And then Zelensky. He's a very off character, off figure. Where would he be without war? Have to do it. Where would he be without warfare? He's a dictator. He wasn't. He's already. His term has been over. There's so many questions. Who will be the person who will be died suddenly? Any one of these people, but someone is. Someone. And there's so many opportunities for things to happen. We live in a very, very, very kinetic, potentially scary situation. Potentially. Or maybe it could also be letting off steam, releasing some of the tension with the passing of someone. I think I've given this subject. Let's see. We'll have to see what is what. Right? We'll have to see. All right, I'm going to leave now, and thank you very much for the likes. I appreciate it. But let's just pay attention the next few days. Something's in the air. Something is definitely in the air. Something. It's just too kinetic. It's too static. It's like static. It's like lightning all over the place. I mean, I really don't believe that peace, the peace element, is just conquest. And when somebody wants to take over a country, the first one they want to take over, they want power. Let's say a foreign intelligence wants power. They don't go after the weaker ones necessarily. They go after the one boasting, I'm the biggest, I'm the strongest. Something so the United States is very much the target, and it likes to be right now the target, even though there's no basis to protect its population. Oh. I don't know if you heard that. That was my fire alarm. But anyway, let's. That was a bit of like scary thing. But anyway, I'll leave it this way. Until the next time, thank you very much. And we have other things we're going to think about and talk about. So think about changes happening soon. So until the next time, bye bye.